What's up? It's me again, here with another lesson. Today is continuing the biblical summary. You know, and today we're in the third part of the vegetables, or well, actually, hold on. No, actually, we're in not the third part. That was my bad. But actually, we're in the last part of the vegetables series. Yeah. Which vegetables are bitter, and that's the bitter part of the scriptures. The destructions, the woes, the curses, the threats, the punishments, basically the bad stuff, the harsh truths, the harsh stuff, the mean stuff, the stressful stuff, the stuff that brings sorrow. You get it. And so the topic of the day is the lake of fire and the icy beams. Now, just speaking man to man, what is the lake of fire? Basically, the lake of fire is America on fire from the missiles of all the nations around the world, basically. You know, that's basically what it is. You know, because America is going to get into it with Russia and Iran, and eventually uh, NATO, the European Union, all those groups, they're gonna turn their back on America, man. You know, and they're gonna go against America too, and they're gonna shoot missiles. Every everybody in the world, China, they'll be they'll be against America. All the missile bearing countries, all basically all the countries in the world that got missiles, eventually is going to declare a nuclear war against America, and they're going to shoot their missiles and destroy this place. And that's what the lake of fire is. America, the whole of America on fire, basically, because of the nuclear missiles, which will create a lake of fire, basically. You know, imagine America being bombed from California all the way to New York, from the west coast to the east coast, from the uh, uh, north to the south. Every square footage of America bombarded with missiles and explosions. This is what's gonna create that lake of fire. All of those, all of that fire, all those missiles just blowing up and creating fire. All of them combined throughout the whole of America is what's gonna create a lake of fire, basically. So you can understand, man. And now we'll just prove it in the scriptures. So go to Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. Cut my light on my phone so you can see me better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so go to Isaiah 54, verse 16. King James Version, of course, and I'll read it. It says, this is Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16. It says, behold, I have created the smith. The smith is the rocket scientist that bloweth the coals in the fire, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. That instrument is the missiles. And I have created the waster to destroy. That's the nuclear missiles. That's the waster is the missiles that's going to destroy. That's what that waster is. Those missiles. Intercontinental ballistic missiles. ICBMs. Okay. Okay. Go to Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. Okay. This is Malachi chapter 4, verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day cometh shall that and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. That's plain. The day cometh is the day when those missiles drop on America, man. So the only way to be saved from that is the Lord returning. When the Lord returns, the angels beam up the elect as the missiles drop it. You know, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna have people being the elect is gonna be saved from the missiles. You know, but the rest of the people is not, man. Only the elect is gonna be saved from the missiles, basically, from the lake of fire. Let's read it again. Malachi 4 and 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Right. But when you're on ground zero, when those missiles hit the ground, when they land and hit, and you be not part of the let, and it's gonna feel like an oven, man. It's gonna feel like you in an oven, man. That's how hot those missiles. That's the heat that those missiles create when they drop, man. You know what I'm saying? That fire, man. It's gonna be like being in the oven, man. In a burning oven, man. Because of the radiation and the heat and the fire from the missiles, man. that they create. So look, sometimes if you get a chance, look up like videos about the atomic bomb and stuff, you know, and the effects that it had on the victims of that. You know what I'm saying? Look up the atomic videos on the atomic bombing of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You know what I'm saying? You'll see that the heat that those bombs created, the missiles gonna do the same thing. And this is gonna happen specifically to America, also known as Babylon in the Bible. This place is modern day Babylon in the Bible. Go to Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. We're going to read what's going to happen to America or Babylon in the scriptures. This is Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 9. And it reads, For lo, I will raise up and cause to come up against Babylon or America an assembly of great nations from the north country. This is Russia. This is China, the north country. This is um, North Korea. All of these places have a bone to pick um, with America, basically, and they're gonna be with Russia, that old Soviet Union spirit. You know, you know what I'm saying? Because China and North Korea was always allies with the Soviet Union. You know, so North Korea and China and Russia, and Russia is the main one. Assembly of great nations from the North Country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows. What's an arrow? What arrow is talking about? Those missiles, because they shoot and fire like an arrow do. You know what I'm saying? Those missiles shoot just like an arrow, and that's the arrow it's talking about. It's the missiles. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Right? Every missile that Russia, China, and all these missile bearing North Korea and all these missile bearing countries have, all of them are gonna hit America and cause destruction. America's so-called missile defense system is gonna fail. You know what I'm saying? Let's read it again. For lo, I will raise up and cause to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence shall she be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. Let's keep reading. Next verse. And Chaldee shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith the Lord. That's just talking about America, Babylon. Okay, keep going. Because you are glad, because you rejoiced, O you destroyer of my heritage. Right, this place Babylon has destroyed the children of Judah. It destroyed the children of Gad. It destroyed the children of Reuben. It destroyed the children of Issachar. You know, so, and this place has basically destroyed all the tribes, man. But those, the main tribes that it destroyed, but pretty much all the tribes then came over here and caught hell in this place. You know, so, oh, you destroyers of my heritage, because you are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. Right, this place, Babylon, got rich off the pain and suffering of Israel, man. You know what I'm saying? And it did it shamelessly. It did it with no remorse. You know what I'm saying? They did it proudly. You know what I'm saying? So next verse. My excuse me, next verse. Jeremiah 50, verse 12. Your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Who is America's mother? Who founded America? The Pilgrims from Great Britain. Great Britain is America's mother. Great United, so-called United Kingdom. The United Kingdom is going to go against America. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's talking about. The United Kingdom was going to be against America and shoot missiles on America. You know, the hindermost, behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Right, because after those missiles destroy this place, and after the fire is quenched in this place, because this place is gonna burn a long time. You know what I'm saying? Like after those missiles drop, this place is gonna be a burn thoroughly for a long time, and everything green and everything that's gonna be consumed away, and this whole America that was once a fruitful place, a place of riches, you know what I'm saying, a place of glory. You know, when the European settlers came over here, this place was decked out with, with resources. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of plenty of resources, lakes full of water. You know what I'm saying? Land as far as the eye can see, good fertile land. You know what I'm saying? But after this destruction, this place is gonna be barren and gonna be a desert, just like it say. The hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Right, that's after the missiles hit and after that fire burn this place up thoroughly. That's going to be the end result of Babylon or America, a desert forever and ever. Verse 13, because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited. Right, God's curse is going to forever be on this land, and nobody going to live here no more, man. But it shall be wholly desolate. Nothing green is going to ever grow on here because of God's curse on this place. Those missiles represent God's anger and curse. You know, so just like he did Sodom and Gomorrah, basically. This place is considered as modern day Sodom and Gomorrah because the same filthy acts that happened in Sodom and Gomorrah that made God angry at that place is the same um, things that occur in Babylon. It's the same thing. That's why it's gonna get the same punishment as Sodom and Gomorrah. If you study about Sodom and Gomorrah, it's a desert too, man. Nothing green grow there either, man. It's a wasteland too. Because of the wrath of the Lord, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at her plagues. Right, right. Last verse, the main point, Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 14. Put yourselves in array against Babylon or America, round about all ye that bend the bow, shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Right, that's talking about the missiles. Shoot at her with your missiles. Bend the bow and shoot out your missiles. Spare no missiles, for she hath sinned against the Lord. Everybody that's got missiles, all the countries that's got missiles is going to be against America and shoot their missiles on America. Everybody's going to hate America. All other countries going to hate America. You know what I'm saying? God is going to make sure that He's going to put it on their heart to hate this place. And they all going to shoot their missiles against this place. And those missiles is going to create the lake of fire. Because all America, this whole landmass of North America, this whole landmass of America is going to be on fire, man. From the East Coast to the West Coast, from the North to the South. Every little bit is going to be covered in fire, man. So let's learn about some more about the lake of fire. Go to Revelation 14 and 9. Revelation 14:9, because well, I let the scripture see. Revelation 14 and 9. Yeah, go to Revelation 14, chapter 14, verse 9. Yeah. Because the thing when we was talking about the mark of the beast during Jacob's trouble, um, the penalty for taking that chip and the penalty for uh, bowing down to Esau and accepting his chip and participating in his system is that if you're alive when the Lord returns, those missiles will be dropping by by that time. You know what I'm saying? Those missiles will be dropping by that time. And basically, you're gonna die in those missiles. Basically, that's the penalty. I mean, let's read it. I ain't gotta say it. Let's read it. Revelation 14:9, and it reads, Revelation chapter 14, verse 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark, that's the RFID chip, in his forehead or in his hand, in his forehead or in his hand. Verse 10, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Right. So those missiles gonna be dropping, and the Lord and the angels they gonna be here to rescue the elect from those missiles. You know what I'm saying? But if you got that chip, the Lord is not gonna rescue you. The angels is not gonna rescue you from the from. You gonna get burnt up in their presence. You know what I'm saying? And the elect that's in the spaceship, they gonna be able to see people being burnt up and stuff. You know what I'm saying? They don't see the destruction of the wicked basically. Okay, go to Revelation 21:8. Revelation 21:8. It says, Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable. Okay, let's go through this. But the example of the fearful will be those that know the truth. Knew the truth. Remember when we talked about Jacob's trouble and how some of the elect has to die, and how the Lord told you to basically be faithful unto death. Well, basically, you're gonna have some people because of the fear of death. They not gonna stand for the Lord. They gonna give in. They gonna sell out. Kind of like Judas, man. Judas was a traitor, and they gonna be the same thing. They gonna be a traitor, man. You got dudes that's doing this work, doing spreading the word. They know the name of the Lord. They know everything. They know the scriptures pretty much. They got the basics of the scriptures down pat and all that, and they not gonna endure to the end because they're gonna give in through fear and intimidation by Esau. They're gonna give in to his new world order system, and they're gonna take that chip, and then it's gonna result in them getting destroyed in the lake of fire. Now, so that's what that means. The fearful and unbelieving, you know what I'm saying? And the abominable, that's faggots. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our people is into being faggots. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's an abomination, basically. And murderers. You got a lot of our people brag about being killers, being hitters, being savages, and whoremongers. That's pimps. You know, pimps and shit like that. porno makers, basically people that sell lust, basically that sell sex, that sell lust, that sell whores, man. That's the pornography um, industry and pimps and stuff, and basically the sex industry, man. Those that sell sex and lust, basically, and sorcerers. That's witchcraft, man. You know what I'm saying? So-called psychics. You know what I'm saying? Basically witches, man. People that do witchcraft and deal with witchcraft, black magic, and all that type of shit. Witchcraft, voodoo, all that type of shit, and idolaters, right? You know, into worshiping idols and stuff, man. Bowing down to idols, sacrificing to idols. You know, the elites and stuff. You have some called what's that called, man? Bohemian Grove, right? Yeah, you got shit like the Bohemian Grove, where the elites sacrifice to a giant owl and shit, and they be doing child sacrifices and sacrificing children to these Canaanitish and Babylonian gods and stuff, man, Moloch and all that type shit. You know, just you know, what's the other one called? The one that's the man and a woman, supposed to be a man and a woman. You know, I forget the name of it. It's a famous idol. He got horns and shit, and he got a woman's breast. I forget what his name is. Uh, what's the name? What's the name of that damn thing? That idol. See, I don't know. I don't want to deal with that shit. I'm trying to think though. Matter of fact, let me look it up real quick. Let me look it up real quick. So I want to finish my point, man. Yeah, Baphomet. That's who I was thinking of. Baphomet. Yeah, you got so-called idol worshiping of Baphomet and all this shit. Museums dedicated to Baphomet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. So I idolaters, basically people that worship idols and shit, and all liars. That's false prophets, basically. You know, dudes out here that's not teaching the real truth. They lying in these churches, man. These false churches, you know, basically false prophets, basically false teachers shall have their part in the lake which burneth with fire and brimstone, which is the second death, right? Because the first death was the flood, which was a flood of water. This is gonna be this second death coming for the non-elect, for the wicked, you know, like we learned today, the proud, the day that shall burn as an oven. this is a flood of fire instead of a flood of water. You know what I'm saying? In Noah's days. And these days is gonna be a flood of fire. And with that, that concludes the lecture today about the lake of fire and the intercontinental ballistic missiles. And I hope you learned something. And goodbye.